Speaker McCarthy wants to try to get through 4 appropriation bills and a stopgap funding measure. How?
Yeah, I mean, I think Greg could probably speak better to the politics on the other side of Pennsylvania Avenue. I think, as you rightly pointed out, the White House is pushing this as a Republican problem right now. And you can see nobody wants to be Kevin McCarthy. There's a lot of infighting still. There's a lot of tricks around how this operates. And we can speak to what will or might not close or will close during a shutdown. But we've been through this so many times before, and every shutdown is unique, in part because of these political circumstances that always change. Right now, it's really tough for Republicans to win on this issue in any fashion.
It's hard to tell exactly what the next move is here, Annmarie. To your point, Speaker McCarthy wants to bring 4 spending bills to the floor. If he can pass them, maybe get a little leverage in negotiating. But that likely will not keep the government from shutting down this weekend unless there's a continuing resolution. So, Gregory, if that stopgap funding bill, for instance, comes from the Senate, if they lose patience with the House, you can't get anything done, we're going to send you our version of the bill. There's a thought that Speaker McCarthy might take that up. Maybe it keeps the government open. Maybe it also gets him fired. What do you see?
Yeah, it's unlikely it'll come from the Senate just because the Senate tends to defer to the House on these sort of spending bills. They usually originate in the House and then go to the Senate, and there's a little bit of compromise in between. So it more than likely has to come from the House. But as you said, there's 12 spending bills on the table. There's no way they can get them all done. There's no way they can probably even get these 4 done that Speaker McCarthy wants to start with. And so the only alternative to avoid a shutdown is that omnibus, kick the can down the road, continuing resolution that we always talk about.
And he is shopping his own version.
Yeah, and we'll see if it can placate the hardliners. This is an unusual shutdown. The politics is different every time, but this is unusual because you have the President of the United States saying he doesn't want to shut down. You have Democrats in the House saying they don't want to shut down. The Senate doesn't want to shut down. The Speaker of the House doesn't want to shut down.
Right.
The people who want to shut down are a small faction of Republican hardliners who want to hold the line on spending and are willing to take the whole process hostage to do it.
And former President Donald Trump had a Truth Social post who said, hold the line, basically, keep it shut down unless you extract every concession. So everything. So we are hearing from some presidential candidates on the Republican side that are weighing in, and there's a spectrum, really, a scope of what they are telling their lawmakers to do. Here's what GOP contender Nikki Haley had to say with Bloomberg's Alex Steele earlier in the day in Oklahoma City.
I haven't talked to leadership. I've talked to all of Congress saying it is irresponsible and inexcusable that you would let government shut down.
And what's the response?
It is also irresponsible and inexcusable to not cut all of this spending. They are using our budget and keeping it in pandemic spending. We're no longer in a pandemic. Why are they still spending at those levels?
Gregory, you're covering all these campaigns. It's different what you're hearing from each and every single one of them about this shutdown and what they're saying to lawmakers.
Yeah, so you mentioned Donald Trump. He has come right out and said the quiet part out loud, right, saying, I want you to shut down the government because the government is currently prosecuting me, and I want you to shut down that prosecution.
Even though those prosecutions will continue, there's appropriated money that are permanent for that.
But I do think that this sort of whole defund the FBI, the border issues, all of these issues are in the mix here, and I think it's fueling the discontent from the Republicans. And then you have people like Nikki Haley, who today said that, look, it's inexcusable and irresponsible to have a shutdown, but then the next breath says we also need to hold the line on spending. So Republican candidates want to have it both ways, and they're kind of glad that they're not in the House having to take this vote.
So President Biden's in a pretty interesting spot here.
Yeah.
Well, a lot of fingers are being pointed at the Republican majority in the House. Joe Biden gets to go on the road here, go to Detroit tomorrow, and essentially join the picket line. I don't know if the White House is using that terminology with UAW workers who are on strike at the automakers. What will be his message? Can he try to get to both of these issues on this trip tomorrow? He's going to have a lot of eyes on him.
I mean, it's already been such a busy week, right, Joe? And it's only Monday. I think on UAW, it's already a pretty tricky issue for him to navigate, even though the White House has pushed this line and they continue to do so today. He's the most pro-union president in the modern history. He was invited by Sean Fain of the UAW to come there to the picket line, so he's going there to be showing his solidarity with the workers. He's absolutely not, in their words, just following Trump there. Trump will, of course, go a day after. So we see all of this from the White House, but at the same time, he's going to have to navigate being that pro-union president, supporting the workers, and then winning them over on things like electric vehicles, which are at the heart of what this whole strike is about, this movement, this transition that the Biden administration has been championing. It's trying to find that middle way.
Isn't this the big dilemma for the administration? two competing policy goals. He wants to not just be the most pro-labor union president, he also wants to be the most pro-climate president. It's the first president in American history that actually ran on climate.
Yeah, I mean, that happens across many issues, including the shutdown issue, right? We're talking about short-term pain and long-term pain. You saw it from the Nikki Haley clip. A lot of people, and including a lot of Americans, not happy with how, certain things are being funded. Maybe we're, blowing up the debt too much, and, the spending is getting out of control and exacerbating inflation. At the same time, they're going to be upset next week if national parks are closed, if there's delays in travel because FAA workers still have to work but might be calling in sick in greater numbers, and if, military, like you said, is not being paid for the operations that have to continue.
So consider everything we've talked about that's coming this week. It's going to end potentially with a shutdown. We also have a Republican presidential debate in the middle of it. We also have the first impeachment inquiry hearing in the U.S. House. All of this against the backdrop of these ongoing strikes. This is a real opportunity for someone, Gregory, whether it's going to be Donald Trump or Joe Biden, when they arrive in Detroit and have that much attention put on them. We just talked about Joe Biden's visit. How does Donald Trump follow that up on Wednesday?
Well, he's doing his thing, which is to counter-program the debate. He doesn't want all these rivals in the Republican Party that are nipping at his heels to get any traction. And so what he did last time was he went on Tucker Carlson on the platform formerly known as Twitter. This time he's going to Michigan, which might get a little bit more attention. He's going to have sort of a live audience and a very live issue to talk about, trying to peel away those working class Michigan voters who are so important in a general election to the Republican Party over this issue that Michelle talked about electric vehicles. So, yeah, there's going to be a lot in the mix, even on Wednesday night, as there's going to be a split screen between Republican candidates actively debating and Donald Trump just doing his own thing.